First off, let's talk about why you decided to do this project. What attracted you the most?
The screenplay. Paul Weitz is a smart guy and writes smart stuff, and this is an example of some of his best, I think. And the other draw was, but beyond the screenplay and Paul directing, was an opportunity to work with Lily. I'd been a fan of Lily's forever, as long as she's been doing it, and never have met her really, other than I had a fleeting, conversation with her a couple of times socially, and that was it. So, I mean, you get a great script like this and opportunity to work with somebody of her caliber, then there's no second guessing it. You're just gonna go for it.
Can you talk a little bit about your character in the movie?
Well, Carl was, I thought he was an interesting character. I think there were maybe some things about him that I personally identified with, but I think there was more stuff about him that I didn't identify with at all. I mean, the fact that this guy had been married multiple times and had all these grandkids and kids of his own, that, he's obviously left fatherless somewhere or with somebody else. I mean, the guy clearly had some issues to deal with, but I think that he was decent, basically a good guy probably, and he was obviously felt like he'd been wronged by Lily earlier on, when in their youth. But, I think on that count that he was as real or was as much like me as anything else I'd ever done, because he was a guy that made mistakes when he grew up, and still carries him along.
And how was it working with Lily? Like, you guys, chemistry was just right there?
I think it was right there. I think we really hit it off, and I think in our brief encounters that we had socially, I think that there was a connection as well. But on the set, when we got in there and started, it happened real quick. It was pretty much filmed in sequence, that whole piece, and it really just rolled. It just developed. It just blossomed as we went along. It was pretty immediate.
And have you ever been directed by Paul before?
Nope.
And so, what's his?
I got directed by his brother once, Chris,
Compass, right?
in the Golden Compass, which is why I'm sitting here with you now. I think it all kind of connected on some level. Chris is the one that called and told me about the project that his brother had. But yeah, to answer your question, working with Paul is just, he's one of those gifted guys that he can just get it out of you, in the most subtle ways. I mean, he knows when to. I think I could speak. I'm not going to speak for him, but I heard him say recently that, he likes to. If he's got the right guy or the right woman there, or just an actor in general, he's one of those guys that steps back. He thinks his job is getting it on the page, which he clearly is, a master at doing. And then I think he feels good about standing back and kind of letting it unfold. And he's also one of those directors that can come in and with the minutest detail, just,
Oh, that's great. Everything
send you off in a whole other direction, or make you think about, well, damn, why didn't I think about that, That's why he's the director and I'm the guy saying the words, It's like, he's a cool guy. He's super bright, and he's super soft-spoken, and he's super funny. With the driest sense of humor. He's quite a character.